Good afternoon, everybody. We are live and we are Speaker Insight, where we help speakers, authors, and coaches to build a portfolio business on your terms. I'm Helena.
And I'm Kelly.
And we've got the lovely Sam Druce with us, but I'll let him introduce himself in a moment whilst you're all getting yourselves together. So if you're joining us live, absolutely brilliant. If you are watching this as a replay, do a hashtag replay. You know the drill if you know us, because we do like to be able to answer your questions, know what you're thinking, get what you're learning sort of from it, even if it is a year or two down the line, because I can say that now, because we've got that going out. Kelly is just sharing this into the Connection Hub, which is our group where we have speakers, authors, and coaches, and all the people who support them, people like Sam, who are essentially, you know, that's where the conversation really takes place. That's where you find all the opportunities. That's where you absolutely, just check things out as a speaker, author, or coach. It's a really cool place to hang out if you've not been. So Kelly's most likely, yep, there it is, beautiful. She does what I tell her to do without me even telling her. How amazing is that? So today, we obviously want to know, again, those of you who know the drill, the buzz in your business, please. What is going on that is exciting and wonderful for you, that's intriguing, that's inspiring, that's interesting? Have you just run something? Are you about to run something? Are you launching something? We've been doing quite a lot of working in partnership as a speaker, author, or coach. You don't actively get anywhere unless you forge partnerships, unless you absolutely have other people to do the things that you don't know how to do. And you, along the way, collect some incredible people like Sam, who I will still let himself introduce himself to you in a moment. But what we've been doing, Kelly and I, over the last week or so, have actually been meeting with all of our partners. So we now have 12 official partners, one for every month of the year, which is really good. And they're people that we can actively vouch for and signpost you to when you need to develop your products or look at your strategy or actually kind of do some tactical stuff, because these are people whose excellence and whose expertise is absolutely brilliant. And that's why we put them in front of you. So that's the buzz in our business. You'll hear more from us about that over the coming months, I'm sure. But Sam, I'm kind of almost scared to do this because I know what the buzz in your business is. But Sam, what's the buzz in your business? And meanwhile, all the rest of it, for everybody else. Oh, here we go. Everybody else, tell us the buzz in your business, and we'll read those out after Sam's done his bit. Welcome.
Fantastic. Well, firstly, thank you very much for having me. It's an absolute pleasure. I've been waiting to do this for ages. I've been waiting for my chance. I'm finally here. So really, really excited. Thank you so much for having me. The buzz in my business is I have just finalized and launched my first ever book, which I am super, super excited about as well. So the buzz in my business is I've launched my book, Social Media Millionaire Secrets, as well. So yeah, we can go into a bit of detail about that later, of course. But yeah, the absolute, the buzz and shall I say the lack of sleep recently has been because I've been launching this book as well. So yeah, it went live yesterday. We are just around about 26 hours in, and we're close to having 300 copies sold, which is brilliant. Which if we continue, fingers crossed, we could be on the way to, dare I say it, touch wood, an Amazon bestseller as well. So we'll keep our fingers crossed.
And Sam, this is not something that we advise to our clients and our followers, but just give them a little insight on how long it's taking you to write, publish, launch this book.
Yeah, so I would not recommend this either, because it has been a very stressful period for me. But my attitude, and again, obviously, as we go through the obviously explain a bit where I'm at myself, but my attitude is always, well, there's people that talk about it and there's people that just do it. And I've always been, well, let's just do it, because I used to be the talk about them. So sillily enough and stupidly enough, I gave myself a deadline of just over 3.5 weeks to write, publish, and launch my book.
I mean, what? But you've been successful with it as you've been running on adrenaline, because you've been doing the work and you haven't slept, and your girlfriend's probably going to want to split up with you soon. But you've got it out there, the momentum's going, and we really take our hat off to show people that it is possible and successfully, and a really good finished product as well. We don't advise it because we want you to have some sort of balance and some, there's health warnings that come with that level of adrenals. But well done, and we know that it's going to be such a success because the information in there is exactly what people want to hear, and that's why they're joining this live today. So
Exactly. And just congratulations. And there's a whole bunch of congratulations coming in as we're actually going. And Carolyn's buzz in the business is that she's talking to a PR expert today about the launch of her first book. So rather appropriate, really.
And Carolyn, we got a bit of background information about the cover of your book on a call the other day, and we're very excited about it too.
With another one of our partners, oddly enough. Which is good. Okay, so let's get into the meat on the bones of this, extracting not only the information from your head, but the wisdom that kind of comes with it, which I'm sure the book is absolutely packed with. So, we've known you for a little while, and you have a really impressive background in sales, especially sales of kind of the high ticket items that lead things into automated sales funnels. These are all words that our speakers, authors, and coaches are probably going, yes, I need that. I don't know what that means. Sort of like it's this beautiful kind of combination. So before we really kind of extract information from your brains, can you tell us a little bit about your background and how come you're now specializing in Facebook ads?
Yeah, definitely. So, my background is, I'd love to say it was extraordinary, but it was very ordinary. I never went to university. I didn't find anything that I wanted to do. I just didn't really fancy going to university for 3 years to get a big debt just to party. But if I'm not going to go to study anything specifically, then why go? So I got a job just working behind a bar for a couple of years, done that whole trying to escape being a grown-up by going off traveling, done that for a couple of years. And the funny thing is, and it's really crazy when you say it, but sitting on a beach, not doing anything all day long, after a while, it does get boring. It gets boring. You say that to someone and they just go, oh, just shut up, you. Oh, yeah. See, it does, I promise you. And for me, I really had a bit of shall I say, a lack of guidance and a lack of purpose as well. So I kind of fell back into what I was doing previously. After working in the bar, I just kind of fell into sales because it's one of those jobs you can kind of go into without needing qualifications. If you can speak to someone and you're happy to learn, you're happy to, shall I say, go through that kind of baptism of fire, well, anyone can do it. And it was really when I started working in sales, I realized I had a bit of a knack for it. And I'm not beginning. At the beginning, I was terrible, absolutely terrible. I was genuinely this close to being fired every month for nearly 7 months. And I just somehow managed to just kind of keep my claws in there a little bit. And I remember going away over Christmas one year. And I literally said to myself, sat myself down in the mirror, if you come back in January and you don't do well, that's it. No more chances now. And something just clicked for me. And as soon as it clicked for me, I came back in January and I had an okay month, followed by a better month, followed by an even better month. And then I actually set the company running the third month as well. And it was that little click that is so relevant to Facebook adverts, which I'll get into a little bit later as well. But it's that little click there that just kind of shot me forward. And that was really what was the kind of the catalyst to be able to realize that selling high ticket, firstly, was where I wanted to be. And secondly, was actually an easier sale. Yeah. Which sounds quite intuitive as well.
Yeah. And until you get it doesn't seem like that would be the case. But until, as you say, there's a mindset switch that absolutely you're demonstrating here, but also a perseverance that really goes in there. I get that. I think
they say, don't they, that actually the hardest sale is actually that first pound that someone spends with you. And then actually it's much easier to sell high ticket items than it is that all the low tier and the stuff in the middle. Even though we say that, right? But Brian's just brought your book and the upgrade just now. So you're doing quite well on the low ones too.
You're on your way to that number. So how come you got into the Facebook? Indeed, right? And so tell us how that then led you into the Facebook advertising.
Yeah, so I'm a big believer again of, stuff happens at the right time. I'm a big believer it's got to be the right time, but you've got to be the right person in that right time. And there's been opportunities that have been the right time, but I wasn't the right person. And opportunities kind of passed me by. And just so happened, I came back from traveling the second time because I really wanted to escape being a grown-up. So I went traveling twice. So I came back. I've been in Australia and living in Bali for 5.5 months, done 9 months in Australia, came home, and one of my good friends I know from previously was looking for a salesperson. And I said, yep, I'll take it. Let's go. And I was working in the job. It was an okay job, but it was a bit of a kind of startup company. Right. So, of course, when they said, well, we need to do Facebook adverts, he was the least techie person I've ever met in my life. He's, the one-finger typer, kind of, give you whiplash just by looking up and down. Well, so, of course, who did it fall onto to be able to do the Facebook adverts? Well, it wasn't really through choice. It was, hey, Sam, you're doing the Facebook adverts. And of course, with a bit of a startup, clearly I was going to get paid an additional wage for that and a very, very structured, definitely not. It was, you're doing it and it's part of your job now. And I was like, okay, guess I'm doing this as part of my job then.
Yes.
And I just really kind of fell into it, quite serendipitously, just kind of fell into it. And after doing it for not a lot of time, actually, really about the kind of first, third or fourth week, I think, of doing Facebook adverts, I actually realized, do you know what? People make this harder than it needs to be. People really are overcomplicating this. And every person I spoke to and every kind of guru that I spoke to or the course I bought, and it was just so complicated. I looked at it and I just thought, it's got to be simpler than this. Because everyone was talking about it, and I'm sure a lot of your viewers and a lot of people listening to this right now probably thought the same thing. They're probably logged on to Facebook before and gone, well, now what do I do? Yeah. And then they hear from someone, oh, here's my 97-step process. What? Just tell me how to get the advert up. How does it work?
Yeah.
I realized that a lot of people overcomplicated it, and I realized that it was actually a very simple formula. It was a very simple formula that, without realizing, I'd been doing for the previous however many years on the phone, just speaking to people.
Yeah.
And it was a penny moment for me. And I just thought, well, it's talking to someone. It's just solving a problem. All I'm doing is I'm just solving a problem. Why does it got to be more complicated than that? All I need to do is find out what their problem is and then just offer them the solution. And it was a real kind of light bulb moment for me. And again, within the first, I think, 3 months, I think we'd done over £400,000 as a company, for his company, mind you. And in the first year, he'd done over 7 figures.
Nice.
I was just sat going, damn, I really should have got paid for this. Oh, I.
And one of those things, Sam, because I know we've had this conversation before, is that, my clients and even, some of the people in the hub, I'm sure they can relate to the fact that they've paid an agency or they've tried to do Facebook ads themselves and it's cost them a lot of money and they've not got ROI, so they've been burnt, right? I know I've definitely been there. And one of the things that we like about you is the simplicity. And it's the fact that what you're saying is, yes, there are people out there that will try and get the lowest clickbait. Oh, you can get this lead for, 3p or whatever. But they're trying all these whiz-bang tactics to try and impress you, rather than keeping the funnel really simple, tracking it, changing it, and making sure that conversion happens. And that's what we love, because most people in our world hate tech, right? They don't like the tech side of things. It scares them, it confuses them. The less jargon, the simplified the process can be, the better. But the main thing is that you get results, right? I know that there are people in the hub that use you, that have got great results from you. And that's what speaks more to us than, I can get you the cheapest lead. Well, that's great. You've got loads of leads in your funnel if it's not converting. So I just want to highlight to that people who maybe have used Facebook ads or they're a bit dubious about it before because they've been burnt or because they think it's complex. This is why Sam is with us, because this is his USP, right?
It really is.
And on that note, Sam, just to give people a bit of advice if they're thinking about advertisement in general, why have you decided to specialize on Facebook rather than LinkedIn or Google Ads? Can you give people a bit of a comparison or a reason why Facebook you believe is one of the best?
Yeah, definitely. And again, I'm a true believer that Facebook generally is the best platform out there as well. The first things, the easiest way is that all of your customers are on there. Okay. At this moment, Facebook has 2.8 billion active users.
Crazy.
Okay. 2.8 billion. The scary thing is there's Facebook where there's not running water. And that's the genuinely baffling thing about the world we live in right now. There's some areas where they can log on, go on Facebook, check their friends, but they've got to walk 10 miles to get some water. Yeah. It's insane. Yeah. Absolutely insane. Yeah. So firstly, all of your customers are on there. And again, it isn't just customers for, let's say, for instance, just, education, for instance. Well, no, every customer on there. I do a lot of B2B. Well, great. So you need to speak to HR managers then. Fantastic. Well, line up 100 HR managers in front of me. 99 of them have got Facebook on their phone. The difference is that your clients aren't on Facebook. It's just maybe you've not had the right way to find them yet. So all of our clients are always going to be on Facebook. And the genius thing is as well, and one of the reasons why Facebook is the best platform that everyone should be on, is it has access to information and data that is unparalleled anywhere else in the world. Okay, so if I go to Google, I understand Google's principle. It's great, okay? I ask a question and I get given an answer. Now, if it just so happens that the best answer is an advert, I'm okay with that. But that's very easy. And when it's very easy, the barrier of entry is very low, which means everyone does it, which then drives up a lot of cost as well. And that's why, again, if you've probably tried, and some of your clients that have tried Google AdWords, it's so expensive. Not people in the property niche where they're trying to find motivated sellers,
right?
Motivated landlords paying up to £5 for one click, not a lead, a click.
Wow.
On Google.
Yeah.
Then they come to Facebook and they're getting clicks for pennies.
Wow.
And it's just the disparity of it's just insane.
Yeah.
And that's really when you start to realize, well, for one click or 100 clicks, well, this one wins every single time. Absolutely. You're 100 times in your opportunity to win at the game. And lastly as well, which is the most incredible part, is Facebook has got what they call detailed targeting. Okay, now this is targeting that you can select when you're advertising on Facebook. So those of you that have launched adverts before, you'll know this. If you haven't, there's a little white box. Okay, not only, of course, can we go age, location, and by the way, Facebook can put adverts on a postcode now.
Wow.
Which is, we are very close to an Orwellian 1984 future, but for the moment, we'll have it as it is. So not only can you do postcodes. So as an example, I live in Wimbledon. If I wanted to, let's say, have a double glazing company and I wanted to only work with very expensive properties and I charge 20 grand, well, I would just put the postcodes in Chelsea, Kensington. Well, chances are I'm probably going to hit the right person.
Amazing.
But they've got detailed targeting, and that is information that you cannot get anywhere else. Okay, and the best part is
that's great, Sam, for people who are therapists and people like that are actually only looking for clients in that 5 mile radius of where they are.
Yeah,
definitely. And it means that you can really specify down. And then when you take that information combined with the detailed targeting, you then get unparalleled advertising targeting as well. And it's the most specific trap in the world. Because what that de-targeting button is, it comes up with everything. For instance, like if I'm a yoga instructor, well, all I need to do is in that little section, I just need to type in what I do. I type in the word yoga, and what Facebook will do is they'll go, oh, Sam, here's 38 million people in the UK that yoga. Would you like to put an advert in front of them, giving away a free yoga class? And you go, I might do, yeah. I want to. And the funniest part about all of this is so many people, when I tell them this, they go, how do they know this? How do Facebook know this? And you go, You told them. You told them. You have like a page that says, you've told them I like yoga.
Yeah.
We're telling Facebook all of this information every single day.
Yeah.
All we need to do is be able to find that information, and there we go.
And the great thing about that is of course that all of that information allows you as a speaker, author, coach, or a blend to really serve the people that you actually want to serve. It allows you to fast kind of find the people that you actively have a product or a service for, which is amazing. Ali's just actually bought your books as well, just so you know it's kind of going up. Go on, Kelly.
So just one thing on that as well, Sam, because I know people are going to get excited, right, or re-energized again around this, especially if people are in location area and they can hear the postcode side of things. But the thing which is really important with Facebook ads is, yes, you've got this tool at your
Disposal.
That's the word I was looking for. But what is really important is that you have a strategy that backs into it, right? Because if you're just going to put some random ad up that goes to a high ticket trying to sell £5,000 product with no retargeting or anything like that going on, you're still gonna lose money. You're gonna fall on your face. So the thing with when you work with Sam is that he holds you through the process of that whole funneling it through everything to how an ad should be worded, laid out, because he's got the understanding of sales. Because that's really important. A lot of marketing people don't understand how to sell.
Yeah.
So you've got that understanding, but then you've got the actual user journey of funneling, of rapport building, of taking them through so that the sale becomes a natural thing for them to do. So it's just something which is in the book, right? It's also in the way that you work. But these things are really important that I just want to highlight, because one of the biggest things with Facebook ads is people go, they don't work, right? And that's why I want to highlight why they might not have worked for you in the past and how we know that you do it differently, Sam. So I'm gonna zip up now, but I just want to.
No, it makes complete sense because sort of so many people, I think most people do get the benefits of it. But I think there is, and you'll have come across as you work with people, and I know you've worked with a range of people, I think there is something around, they still hold themselves back from doing so. So what are the main reasons that you find that people hold themselves back from actually using Facebook ads? They get it, but they don't do it. Why?
I think a lot of it really comes down to almost one of the biggest human fears, which is just the unknown. And especially when it comes into actually kind of having some skin in the game, okay? Because you're completely right. When you don't have the system, and I've been in this situation before, when I was first starting out, that first kind of week or so, of course, it was a lot easier because I was spending someone else's money, not my own money, which is always a lot easier. But when you don't have the system and then you put an advert up, and then you check back in 2 days' time and you say, well, I haven't got any clients from it, and now it's £25 gone.
Yeah.
It feels like you've got £25 and just set it alight.
Yeah.
Because you've just got the mindset shifted wrong. And I fully get that because I've been there. I've been in that situation. I've spoken to hundreds of people in that situation. And it really comes down to making sure you've got the system to follow. Because you're at stage one. And what you're doing is you go stage one, and then you've not even made it to stage two, and then you've got it doesn't work. Well, of course it doesn't work. You're only at stage one. I can't go to a safe, type in the first number of the combination and go, why is it not opening? This safe's broken. Well, I need the rest of them as well.
Yeah.
And that's why it gets so hard, because people can't get past that initial kind of hump. They can't get past that initial, well, okay, now what? And I fully get that, because like I said, I've been there.
Yeah.
I've absolutely been there as well. And you need to know what's next, what comes after when you post that initial advert. Is this a cost, or is this an investment into your business, your brand, and your future? Because they're two very, very different things. And it just comes down to understanding the whole process through as well.
And we've got that here, right? Sorry.
You go.
That Ali's saying that they used to sell real estate, did well, but when it comes to selling myself, then that's hard, right? And so some that we work with speakers, authors, and coaches, right? So predominantly they are normally personality brands. And that's sometimes the fact that if you're selling real estate, it might be like you were, it was for somebody else, or there's more of a system involved because there's a product and a user journey. And sometimes when people are selling their own products as a coach or speaker or author, there isn't always so much of a product range and a user journey and content to actually put people through so that they can build that relationship up with you as a personality brand. So I know you work with a lot of speakers, authors, and coaches on this. So have you seen anything that can help Ali, that can shift for that to actually help her?
Yeah. What's the bit up here that she might need to do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. And first and first, Ali, as well. I mean, I get where you're coming from. When I wrote my book, the last thing I needed to do to finish it, and the section of my book I found the hardest to write was
I totally know what you're going to say. Yes.
It was
that
the hardest
piece.
To write.
Yes, that whole piece about who am I? What do I say about myself in this many words on the back cover or the inside blurb? How do I explain everything about me in like tiny amounts of words here? But it's also that whole, and Ali's just saying she's also quite shy. So it's that whole, how do I give myself permission to serve through telling my story, to telling my levels of expertise so that I can get to serve. And I'm using that word advisedly, right?
Yeah, definitely. And there's also nothing wrong with being quite shy, Ali, as well. There's nothing wrong with being humble. It's an incredibly endearing quality as well. And I fully get where you're coming from. I mean, the first thing I would say to you is the best advice I can give you is be completely true to yourself. Okay? Be as authentic physically can. Okay? One of the biggest lessons I learned was people buy from people.
Yeah.
Okay? It doesn't matter how good the deal is. It doesn't matter how much cheaper you are than your competition. Okay? Excuse the French, but if I think you're an ass, I'm not buying from you. I'll go to your competition who's nice and I'll pay him double. Okay? People buy from people. So look, be as authentically you as you can. If you are a bit shy, that's fine. Well, you're allowed to be a bit shy. People will buy from you for that quality as well. Yeah. And the best thing I can say for you when it comes down to writing your bio is, this is something, again, even to this day, I have to try and get over, okay? Because everyone has that, what we call imposter syndrome sometimes, okay? Where we look and we turn around and go, yeah, but I feel like an imposter. Why me? Oh, I don't want to write about myself, because we all get that. And a lot of that derives from a worry that we're going to come across arrogant when we talk about ourselves.
Yeah.
It's a real big worry. No, look. Sorry, go on, carry on.
I was just going to say, so Ali, just to help you out, if you feel like a little bit of extra training, I am just going to add in the training that we did on how to have the confidence to call yourself an expert, because actually that may help you in conjunction with this as well.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, I would say there is a fine line between arrogance and confidence. Now, that fine line is based entirely on your intentions. It is based on your intentions. If your intentions are true, good, and honest, you will never come across arrogant. I can promise you that right now. You will come across that as someone that is genuinely showing you my credentials as to why you should listen to me, which is just a part of business. Yeah. When you have the intention, you want everyone to go, wow, look at me. That's when you come across arrogant. And I don't think, if you're a shy person for a start, you're never going to be arrogant anyway. But never be afraid to draw a line in the sand and say, do you know what? That I am the best in the world at this. I am. And I am the best. And there's nothing wrong with that.
And I think the additional thing on that is also the fact that, you know, when personality brands is to learn to take rejection not personally. So even though they are rejecting, they could reject your services, it's still your services and not you, right? So when you're doing property, it's much easier for them to say, no, that I don't want to flip that property, or I don't want to go into that. it's a property, right? But when they say no to you, they are still saying no to your services. And it's you do have to build that thick skin when you are out there and you're putting your, you know, your face out there. But Helena?
I was just going to say, I think so much of this is also about timing, you know, sort of like, and that kind of brings it back to the Facebook ads. You know, when I see an ad for a particular thing, I might get really excited, but actually I realize that it's not the right timing, or I'm just going on holiday, or I'm just actually doing the thing. It's the same thing, you know, whether you are selling via a Facebook ad or whether you are selling through, you know, sort of a discovery call or something else. It's not a personal affront to you. They might really love your service, but it's not the right timing for them. It doesn't feel like the right opportunity just now. So much of it comes down to that. And Sam, I'm sure you've got, you know, sort of much more to say on that one. Oh, she's nodding. Yeah, she says.
I know. And she thinks you're amazing. And I know one of the things that you do cover, Sam, is mindset, right? So that's one of the things that's really important in this process, because we are all our own worst enemies, and we are normally our main blocks as well. Yeah. So because you cover these areas of mindset and what we're just going on here, how do you work, or how can you work with people who don't have any training in sales, or they might not have tech knowledge? How does your process and systems work for those people?
Yeah.
It's a really great question, though, because so many people, they do say, oh, well, it's okay if you had a sales background. What about me? I don't. So clearly it can't work for me.
Yeah.
Well, there's a big difference between having a good sales background and having a sales background. Very big difference. Because I could line up 1,000 people that work in sales, and I could pick a handful of them that they can actually sell properly. Everyone thinks they can sell. A lot of people order take, and they play the numbers game. You know, they go $400 a day. Well, some of them are going to say yes. Well, of course they are. You know, I could knock on 400 doors and some of them are going to say yes. The real skill doesn't come from turning a yes into a yes. It comes from turning a into yes. That's where the real skill comes in. And not having any sales experience, honestly, normally when someone says that to me, it's like a breath of fresh air. I'm like, oh, cool, we've got this. We've got this then. Brilliant. Amazing. Because you've got no bad habits. You've got no bad habits whatsoever. Yeah. You're a complete clean slate. And the example I always give is, well, which one of these two would you prefer to teach? Imagine you're a driving instructor. Okay. Would you prefer to teach a 50-year-old who's been driving for 33 years or a 17-year-old who's never driven a car?
Let me think about that.
All day long. Because what you'll do with the 55-year-old is you'll turn around and you say, oh, you did that. And they go, no, I didn't. I know how to drive, thanks. And you go, whoa. I mean, okay.
I love that analogy.
I'm loving that analogy because actually, so having just let go of my car, I'm aware that actually I'm about to sign up for Zipcar. And then I've realized I am in the 50s. Then I've realized I'm like, yeah, I've been driving an automatic for quite some time. I need to remember how to drive a manual. I might need to get some lessons. And I literally had the thought of, how do I get back to just being a beginner? How do I ignore that I know how to drive in order to make the most of these lessons that I'm about to take on?
Hands at 10 to 2, feeding the wheel.
Looking at my mirrors, it's all good. But I think Facebook ads is the same kind of thing, right?
Yeah. Definitely. And again, sales, so many people get hung up on the word sales. Okay. We've got a real mental block around the word sales. Look, sales is a transfer of emotion. Okay. It's just a transfer of emotion. Money's just a byproduct of it. Money is the currency it comes in. But sales itself is a byproduct of emotion. It's just a transfer of emotion. And people that say, I can't sell, well, my instant reaction is, well, do you have any friends? Well, yeah, of course I've got friends. Well, great. Well, you've sold them reasons why they should be your friend. Do you have a partner? Yeah, I've got. Well, look, you've sold them reasons. You know, those with kids out there. Yeah. Gee, anyone with kids is a master salesperson. Yeah, you are selling a 4-year-old broccoli. You're a master salesperson. If you can sell a 4-year-old to eat their vegetables, done. You've got it.
Nice.
You've absolutely got it. Because all we need to do, it all comes down from, do we understand our client? And if you understand the biggest problem that your client has, the thorn in their side, the thing that makes them wake up at night in cold sweats, if you can understand that problem and you can come up with a solution, you don't ever have to sell in your life.
Yeah.
You are literally just doing what business is all about. Just do what business is all about. Find a solution, give it to them.
Yeah. And you know, for those of you who've been in our world for a while, you can begin to see why we've chosen Sam as one of our partners. You know, that whole, let's make sure you know who your avatar is, who is that person, what is the problem that they actively have, and what have you got? You know, that stage one isn't enough. What have you got in the full range, in your product range, that absolutely allows it to be a journey that the Facebook ads kick off? Kelly, were you about to say something?
No, I just like that. And this is one of the things, again, because we do talk about this product range of free content, low tier, mid tier, and high ticket items to, one, give you a portfolio style business, two, give your customers choice, but also demonstrate the level of expertise and the depth that you can go in from the user journey. So, you know, we always have to align our even our Facebook Live guest experts to what we teach you, so that there's the congruency there and you can go back and check any of our other training, and it keeps to make sense and keeps on building on what we're saying. So thank you for that. So basically what you're saying for people who don't have sales or tech understanding is that actually that's quite good, because you can actually mold them into your way of thinking, but you do provide the training and you do make it simple, and you even have a done for you service as well if they want to completely outsource it. That's right, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And that's why this does work. It's simple. Yeah. And in the book, I break it down into 4 stages. It's the system, the customer, the advert, the scaling. That's it. It's a very simple system. And the reason why it works is because it is simple. Okay. The way that I was kind of taught this when I was from my business mentors as well is, I could line up everyone on this Facebook Live. Okay, and chances are every single person can make a better burger than McDonald's. They can make a tastier burger than McDonald's.
For sure.
But you can't make more in an hour than they can. Definitely.
Yeah.
You can't make more. You can make a better one. You can't make more in an hour. And the reason why they make so many in an hour is because it's a simple system. You put the bread, you put the lettuce, you do this, you do that, and it's the same every single time. And it's the exact same that happens with Facebook adverts as well. Okay, it's just the same process for every single business out there, whether it be real estate, whether it be you're an education business, whether or not you're B2B, whether or not, doesn't matter what your business is. You need to know what the system is. You need to know who your customer is. You need to get the advert in front of them, and then you need to scale your business. And that's why it works. It's simple. It is. It's just simple.
It's really, really great. It's really great. I love it. And so I suspect that many more people will be loving you as a result of your 3.5 weeks worth of effort. You know, sort of, they may not know that story, but we appreciate it tremendously. So let me wrap us up, because I'm aware that we are eating into, no pun intended, people's lunch hours. So if you're choosing to have one of those, of course, in your beautiful entrepreneurial state, but for people who are now going, actually, from what you've said, I might have a go at this. What's the most useful bit of advice that you might kind of give that helps set up the audience for success? Like, so how do speakers, authors, and coaches really get started if they're thinking about running ads?
Yeah. So the first thing I would say is you need to understand your customer properly. Okay. This is where a lot of people go wrong. Okay, because so many people I see, they try and fix everything. Okay, they look at their customer and go, right, they've got this wrong. We're going to fix that. And although that seems like the natural and also the right thing to do, it's the complete opposite of how you be successful in business, especially Facebook adverts. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to fix everything. Whereas what we need to do is we need to find the biggest problem and only focus on fixing that. Okay, the way I was explaining is that you should be an inch wide and a mile deep, not a mile wide and an inch deep.
Yeah.
Okay, that's how we want to be. Because people don't care about the small issues. Okay, people don't care about the small issues. If everyone cared about the small issues, the world would stop. Okay, they're just kind of here. They're here, they're just nagging in the background. But it's not big enough for me to take action on it. So when you focus on the little issues, that's when you start hearing stuff like, well, it sounds really good. I think I'm going to do it in the future. Yeah, now's just not the right time. Yeah, I'm 100% going to do it. But when it's right, it's just not the big problem. Yeah. And if you can really drill down and fix the biggest problem, firstly, what you'll notice is everything becomes easier. You have more clarity. Customers will be able to relate to you quicker, will be able to make a decision. And also, you will be able to help them a lot more as well. Because when you realize, and it was a big shift for me in my business, when I realized that, hey, my clients have got 20 issues, I only need to fix one of them, and they'll probably fix the other 19 themselves, everything else falls into place. It all clicked. And as long as you can focus on that big problem, then it becomes very, very easy for you as well. And then secondly, all I would say, just do it. Okay, just do it.
Nice.
In 3.5 weeks.
Yeah. Or not.
Don't do it in 3.5 weeks. Trust me, that's not fun. But look, the biggest thing that can go wrong is you could do it and then you could be struck by a bolt of lightning and drop dead. That's the absolute worst case scenario. Yeah. So anything less than that, hey, we're okay. We're okay.
Yeah. I think what you said is really important, right? And that, again, emphasizes what we talk about is actually the time that you take to really understand your avatar, listen, because what you think might be that number one thing often isn't, right? Because that's what you assume. But actually, when you're looking at things, is actually doing that market research, it's hanging out, it's actually talking to your ideal client, literally having those conversations and seeing commonalities between them and then going for it. Yeah. But the other thing is put it in perspective, and a lot of people, I heard this a while ago, when people are talking about that priority, people will get themselves out of those objections when it is the thing that they really want. Say, for example, your child was kidnapped and you needed to raise £50,000 in 24 hours. You will find a way to do that and get that, because that is your biggest driver. There isn't another option. Yeah. When you tap into people's emotional commitment and desire at that level, they get rid of the time, money, all those types of excuses, because they know this is what they need, right? That's it. So, and I don't think people go to that level. They do that, 1 inch thick, and actually do all the little problems that are niggling at them. But that's when you're going to get more excuses and objections come up, rather than the thing which is like, yeah, I need this. There is no other option. Yeah. So we really appreciate that.
100%. We really, really do. We do.
And oh, sorry, darling.
No, go.
No, go on, because I was just going to talk about how people can connect with Sam.
Yeah, for me, I think you are such a great demonstration, and of course, so partly we love sharing your knowledge, giving you a space to share your knowledge and your wisdom with people. But I think there's also something about being a demonstration of what a personal brand looks like, of how you actively, connect with your audience, and the showing up as who you be is the thing that then allows people to go, I could learn Facebook ads from any other, from so many different people, but actually, having just that little bit of personality kind of behind it gives you I like what this person is thinking. So I love that you're a walking, talking demonstration of exactly what you're talking about, which of course is why we've chosen you as one of our partners.
Yeah, and the other thing on top of that, the personality and really what people say about you, Sam, is that you don't leave people hanging, right?
For sure.
So you have a community, you have support, you have that. Once those ads are built, there's the constant review, there's the tweaking, there's the, okay, this didn't work. I know you're committed, probably as much as the individuals, to making those ads convert. And if they don't convert initially, you will find out what is there was something that you said.
Oh my God, tell the story, Sam. Tell the story.
The email title one. Tell that one.
Yeah.
Sorry, which one was it? Sorry, I couldn't hear that one. Sorry,
remember that
you know that first subject line, the ads were working, but the people were still not showing up in the class?
Yeah, that's a good one. So it was a client I was working with. We were helping her to build out her whole entire business. And again, it just shows you sometimes, especially for a business owner, sometimes you're just too close to see the wood from the trees. And the ads were coming through, they were fantastic. The leads were coming through. She was getting classes booked in. And then all of a sudden, people just weren't showing up to her class. And she was getting like 5% of people show up. And I thought, what? Why is something's not working here? Something's not working. And I wanted to basically strip our whole business back. And I wanted to literally look into it. Because the funny thing, I always make a bit of a joke about it, is when people work closely with me, I will care more about your business than you probably do as well. Okay? I will probably be on your business more than you. And yeah, what happened was I said, right, show me everything. I want to see the emails that go out, the text messages. She said, no, look, just focus on the ads. I was like, no, show me everything. And in the first email, I can't remember exactly what it said, but it's something of, you've got free class booked in. Don't be that bitch and don't show up. And I just went, she written that in an email. And I just picked up the phone and I was like, I think I found the problem. I think I found it. We took the blatant insult out of it. Problem solved. Problem solved. People showed up to her class. They were happy. She started making money again. So yeah, that was one of my more interesting ones.
but and I think that's great, you know, that we're too in it to see it. But this demonstrates the dedication, right? Because most people would build the funnel and go, well, the ads are working. Look,
yeah, I've done my bit.
Yeah, I've done. It's your problem now, and that's what we really like about you, is that you care, which is one of our, you know, the values that we have. But it also shows that you aren't just this agency that gets people through and like a sausage machine and then done and dusted. It's, you know, there is that real community support and care afterwards. Yeah. So I know that I just put the link again to your book that I know a couple of people have been joining throughout. They might not have joined us from the beginning. So please do check out that great offer on Sam's book to get you started. Basically, the book is where we want you to start.
For sure.
The book is going to give you the understanding of what to do next with Sam, right? Whether that's do Sam's digital training to learn it for yourself, whether it's the fact that you're able to outsource all the work to his agency and actually get it done for you. Whatever the point is, the book is the starting point, so you have the knowledge to know what to do next, and that's going to make your relationship a lot better. But we know that Sam is in the hub. He's one of our partners, so you'll see lots of posts about him as we go forward. But also, that's how you like to connect, isn't it, Sam? Is that people, if they want to chat, just PM you, friend request you, whatever it might be, and you'll basically have that conversation with them, because that's where it all starts with you, is a conversation.
Yeah. Yeah,
definitely. So, yeah, I mean, what I would say, get yourself a copy of the book. What I've done as well is a bit of a special treat for everyone in here as well. I've already paid for 500 books to be printed. So it means that if you do want to get your book, you can go ahead and get it completely free of charge. All I do ask is you just cover the very, very small shipping and handling for £4.95. Go through the book. Okay, this simple 4-step system will work for any business. Okay, once you've been through this 4-step system, if you'd like to find out how you work more personally and more closely with me, there's actually an opportunity to book in a complimentary 30-minute strategy session with me. Okay, there's absolutely no obligation on these calls. All I'm going to do is I'm going to find out a bit more about where you are, what it is that is pinpoint, what's holding you back, let you know actionable steps, how you can get out of it. And if I think that you'd be a good fit to work with me, what I will do, let you know how we can work together on a much more intimate, close one-to-one basis as well. But as I said, there's absolutely no obligation, but I would strongly recommend, even if you want me to do everything for you, read the book. Yeah. Okay, you need to understand the process as well, because this isn't just going to help you to be able to do your Facebook adverts. The principles in the book are going to help you to do everything with your business. It's going to help you to sell your business as well. There's a great little section here as well. One of my favorite stories is actually, for those who that got it, it's section 2, page 71, and it's called, page 78, people buy what they want, not what they need. And it's a story of how my girlfriend shops that can genuinely make you millions in the next 12 months. So yeah, go and get yourself a copy of the book. All you've got to do is just cover the shipping, and then you can book in a consultation call with me, and I'll work out how I can help you much more closely as well.
Brilliant. You're an inspiration and such a lovely person to have in our community, because We've been looking for a Facebook ad person that really cares and gets results and keeps it simple. And then you appear.
You are he, which is wonderful. So look forward to kind of chatting with you more over the coming months. But for those of you who've got the book, you're in for a treat. So thank you.
If you're watching this on the replay,
replay,
if you want to ask Sam questions, tag us, tag Sam in the comments. He's in the hub, so we'll keep an eye on this. Whether it's a year down the line that you're watching this, just keep on asking, and we'll keep on supplying you with those answers.
Sounds good. Many blessings to all of you. Have a great, productive week.
Get some sleep.
Thank you, everyone.